Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Wellness Wednesday Inspiration. My name is Fernanda, and I'm here with Dr. Linda Marquez on another wonderful episode full of information that will help you change and transform your life and become the best version of you. Today, we have an amazing guest. Dr. Linda is going to be talking a little bit about Dr. LuLu, and the topic that we're going to cover today is using plant and vibrational medicine to enhance your energy, mood, and love. So how can we literally use all of these different things aside from traditional medicine to improve our health, improve our mood, improve our love, energy, and our life? Welcome, Dr. Linda. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing phenomenal. I enjoying the weather of Arizona. I was outside the entire day working from my patio until now. I came inside and I just love it. Sunlight does me good.
It looks like you've been working on your tan because you were in Cancun last week as well. And then this past weekend, it was pretty warm too, because I was in your neck of the woods in the Phoenix area, and it was in the night, it was like 99. So we're working on our tan early.
Yes. We actually have a pool outside, and we were in the pool having fun with the kids over the weekend because it was pretty hot out. So Definitely enjoying the hot weather, definitely enjoying the beautiful Arizona weather.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, of course, I'm always happy and just delighted for our Wellness Wednesday Inspiration, the podcast. And, we get to connect, but also we get to bring amazing guests on. And I'm excited about, we were chit-chatting with Dr. LuLu in the back of the green room, as we say. And I know this is going to be great. So why don't we go ahead and introduce her? She is a naturopathic physician, and she specializes in genetic health. She works with patients that experience chronic disease for like hormonal imbalances, endocrine disorders, GI issues, which we see a lot of, depression, anxiety, and fatigue. And so her approach is a little bit different than traditional medicine because she actually wants to find the root cause and provide natural solutions, and as much as possible with her patients. The beautiful thing about what she does also is she uses a lot of her experience, and she's also an herbal formulator. She's an international speaker. So I was just telling her that, teacher does mean, or doctor does mean teacher. So she is actually going out there and educating people. She's also the medicine director at the Veterans Healing Farms, where she's educating veterans on how to use plants to heal and elevate their lives. And I think I might have, am I still on?
You are still
there
on.
I am. Okay. I lost y'all for a minute myself. Anyways, and she's also a podcaster. She's got her own podcast, The Genetic Genius. And we are going to talk also about her upcoming book. She's going to be a publisher, an author on Detox, Nourish, Activate, Plant and Vibrational Medicines for Energy, Mood, and Love. And in this book, she's focusing on how to use botanical medicines and other natural modalities to heal the whole body by optimizing vitality, increasing well-being, and also to enhance cellular performance. So let's get her on, and so excited to have her.
Dr. LuLu, thank you for being with us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me. It's so nice to see you both.
Nice to see you as well. And I am super excited to really jump into this amazing topic like we were talking before. It's a topic that not a lot of people know, and it can be beneficial for all of us. So super excited to have someone like you with your level of experience teaching us, and I am ready to take notes as usual, because everything that I learned really on this podcast, I even apply on my own life every day. So welcome again, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about everything that you mentioned earlier.
And so, Dr. LuLu, let's start with what is vibration and what is energy, so our audience understands what we will be talking about for the next few minutes.
Right. That's a great way to start. You know, when people ask me about what is energy, I always say to think about the sun, right? Because I think that's really easy for people to understand and to be able to comprehend. So when we think about, you know, the sun warming our skin, that's a vibration. That is the actual, you know, vibration of the sun hitting our body, giving us nutrients and vitality and charging us. So that's really all that energy is. So it goes in through the skin. I mean, we also can, of course, ingest it or on an energetic vibrational level. So we're talking about the body has many different layers, right? So we have our physical layer, then we have our energetic layer, we have our spiritual layer, like farther out from us. And those are all kind of like waves of energy. And so when we're talking about vibrational medicine, it's using different ways to help those different layers of our body. And everything has a vibration, even from a glass of water, right? When we ingest that glass of water, it fills every cell with like energy and vibration and changes the cellular makeup just by that little thing, just by, you know, well, you want to drink more than one glass of water a day, I hope. But yeah. So does that help make sense about like what vibration is?
It definitely does. Absolutely. And something that you mentioned is that we have different planes within us, right? A lot of people consider themselves to be their physical body, and they only identify as their physical body, but there is different layers in our bodies and our emotions and our spirit. So it's very important for people to be aware that there is something more than our bodies, that we are more than literally just the vehicle that we are navigating life in.
That's so key because, you know, it's harder, I think, or maybe we don't realize as much when we have the emotional or spiritual affect, right? Something is disturbing our environment. Maybe if you're really angry at someone, maybe that would be, but physically we know we can feel it right away, right? So but as we use vibrational medicine, it helps us to tune in more to not only the physical aspect of our body, but all the other aspects. And we're a whole being, you know, we're not just the physical layer, and we have trauma that can affect all those different layers as well, which is a big aspect of the book.
So why is this important for disease? I mean, as a more, you know, with naturopathic practitioners, doctors that are more in the integrative functional medicine, we kind of break disease down as dis, DIS, and -E's. So how is this? Can you kind of connect that, the vibrational energy and disease and how they're connected? Because there is a big connection that is often overlooked with allopathic medicine.
Right. Yeah, totally. That's a great question, Dr. Linda. So when we're talking about dis-ease, it's anything in our environment that's out of place. Right. And so when we're talking about the cells of our being, the physical layer is usually the easiest place to start because everyone is familiar with that. Right. So when we're talking about disease in the body or a dis-ease, something has happened to those cells to disrupt their natural function. And a great one could be like mitochondria. Mitochondria are the energy aspects of our cell, the powerhouse of the cell. When those particular organelles, the mitochondria, are not functioning properly in this place of disease, which can happen for lots of different reasons, you have less of them in the cell. So they become, you know, that energy center of the cell shrinks, right? And so we have less energy to do what we need to do. So that's a super easy example of kind of like disease. You could think of it like your car, right? If you're going to only put 1 gallon of gasoline into your car, how can you expect to do everything you need to do to go on your road trip, right? It's the same thing with your cells. If you're giving them only a little bit of something, you're creating this environment that's not going to propel you forward to enable you to do all the physical things, but also to create that emotional and spiritual aspect of your life, which is so important for that key component.
Dr. LuLu, that brings a question, and it's something that I actually started understanding not too long ago, maybe a little bit over a year ago. And it's the impact of our emotions to our health. So I understand now, just by reading about it and by me going through a series of negative emotional depression, anxiety situations in my own life, that I started understanding, okay, there's got to be a connection. There's got to be something. And I understand now that how anybody feels has a significant effect on our physical body, on our physical health. And over time, any decision that we make and any emotion that we feel eventually translates into a physical way.
Mm-hmm.
Can you expand a little bit more about how our emotions impact our health, our body?
Sure, that's a great question. I think we could dive deep into stress, because that's a really, a lot of people have been having a lot more chronic stress with COVID over the last 15 months, and we're seeing it impact so that's an emotion, right? It's like when we're stressed throughout the day, we're not in this calm space. And that stress then translates into our body. And it's usually the system that's most out of alignment. Like Dr. Linda was saying, that dis-ease space. So say, for instance, like for me, I'll give an example of me. When I'm stressed, it always goes right to my stomach. Like I'll have stomach pain or digestive upset, bloating, whatever, burping, and so that is an exact correlation of how that stress is impacting my physical body. And so then when I'm like, okay, I can totally understand what's happening, then I immediately bring in things to calm my system. Like I'll do a little meditation or calming music or do adaptogens, anything to bring my body back into balance.
Mm-hmm. I love how you connect all that, because, as we mentioned earlier, you work with a lot of patients with chronic conditions, and chronic conditions are initially acute, and almost every single acute condition is caused by lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And what we're seeing a lot is, as Fernanda was mentioning, about how our thoughts and how the mind, it impacts your body and disease. And like you were saying, totally relate. When something's just not, when you're stressed, where do you feel it first? I also feel it in my gut. Your second brain is in your gut, mm-hmm. and that gut brain connection, via the vagus nerve. So I think a lot of people can relate, and especially women. I mean, we either eat or we don't eat. So those are some of the things that we see. Now, how does all that connect with what we're talking about, vibrational energy and, in plants and food? And I know you use a lot of even plants and different types of plants, because we sometimes look at, plants could be like cannabis is considered a plant, right? And then you can look at spinach or kale. So can you kind of talk a little bit about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So going back to what I was saying about earlier about kind of the sun having a vibration, it's the same thing with plants, right? We know that how they work through cellular makeup. We've been studying them for a long period of time, and they have a specific energy. And within that energy, they have specific constituents, right? A property that has their main function, and then they have like a bazillion other functions, which is one thing I love about plant medicine. They don't just do one thing, they do lots of other things. So like you were saying, Dr. Linda, we can use plants for plant medicine, and that's a way that helps something, maybe a symptom or the root cause of something that's going on, whether acute or chronic. But we can also use them for their nutritional value, like spirulina, right? It's great for charging the mitochondria. It's super good for energizing the body. And that comes from the ocean, and it has this, beautiful green and blue quality. We can just see the energy, like the dress I'm wearing. It's like you just have this vibrancy about the plant. And if you think about that vibrancy translates into a vibration. And when we eat it, or even if we're in the environment of it, you could think about if you're going on a walk in the woods and you have all these beautiful trees around you, you feel like the vibration of the trees and the plants and the air. And that's the healing quality, that when we use those internally, that same energy goes into our system and helps with healing.
And that is such an important point too, that we can actually feel the energy of those things and objects and even people surrounding us, right? And that's the importance of surrounding yourself in environments that actually uplift you and raise your energy. And that includes walking out in nature, connecting with nature. That's a huge one. That includes doing things and listening to music that raises your energy. There is music that actually does that, provides that calming effect. And surrounding yourself with people with likewise energy, high energy, right? And we can all identify, and probably we can all think about a moment when we were around someone who had like a heavy energy, and we felt that, we feel that. So it's the same thing. And when you're around someone who's like super happy and upbeat and everything, you feel that too. And you get like that, it becomes kind of like contagious, right? Contagious energy. So it's so important for us to, and the same thing with foods. When we're eating foods that are healthy, that are giving us that energy, versus when we eat foods that are heavy, that are processed, we feel tired, we feel low. So it's reconnecting with ourselves and how we feel, and really paying attention. I don't think a lot of times we stop and think about how different things, how different scenarios, how different environments, how different people make us feel inside, right? So really paying attention, taking a minute and saying, okay, really, when I was walking on that forest, or when I took that walk in nature, it made me feel so alive. It made me feel so good, so energized. So doing more of that versus less of what really brings us down and our energy down. So thank you for that. It's I get so passionate because it really, I didn't used to take the time before to really feel or do things that made me feel good. And just like I was talking to you guys, I spent all my morning outside, just soaking in the sun and working outside, but on the sunlight, looking at the palm trees and reconnecting. And I have a little garden in my house, and I'm planting tomatoes and onions and cucumbers. So I go and look at my garden and I talk to my garden, right? Like, oh, you're so beautiful. But it's that connection that makes me feel good, right? It helps me reconnect with myself.
Right.
So can you explain a little bit, what does it mean? And we've kind of touched a little bit about that. What does it mean for someone to have a low vibrational energy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we can think of it, I love what you were saying, Fernanda, about how if you're in kind of like the bad environment of someone, or in the environment of someone whose energy is bad, maybe it's at work, or maybe you're in a Zoom work and that energy is affecting you, and you can feel like, I feel kind of like yucky, right? And so when that vibration then changes our emotional being, right? And so when we have a place, I want to go to dive into the place of trauma. So let's say, for instance, you had a really bad trauma. Maybe you lost someone that you love that was really dear to you, but it came on really suddenly, like maybe in an accident or something, or any type of grief. We hold on to that trauma, and that trauma can then settle into different aspects of our body. And that's usually because of a pattern where, whether that's from a pattern from childhood, which is very common, or it could be from that's just where we hold stuff. So that emotion then gets kind of like trapped, in the body, because we haven't either opened the doorway to release that trapped energy, or we need help from an outside support. Sometimes we need to, go to a physician, or go to a counselor, or use plant medicine or vibrational medicine, anything to help release that trauma. You could think of it like as a tube, right? Our body is a tube, not only from the physical aspect, because everything goes in the mouth and out the other end, but also from an energy perspective. We're connected up to the top of our head, and then also down through our feet to the earth, right? And that is a tube of energy. And the same thing can happen where those blocks can occur in both of the tubes. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense when, talking about vibrational energy. I mean, just energy, as you were mentioning earlier, everything has energy. It's either going to have a positive energy or a negative energy, a low vibrational frequency or a high vibrational frequency. And our goal, of course, is to if you're familiar with you probably are, with the chart that shows the vibrational energy and the colors, and how love is at the very highest, and it's purple, and at the bottom is, like despair, guilt, frustration, fear. So we are always vibrating at an energy, or tuning in to the radio station of our life. So it just depends on who we surround ourselves with, and, how we're feeling that day. And what you were mentioning, though, and I had an incident last week where I was in so much pain, and I was on the phone. I couldn't even have like a proper conversation with this individual. And then afterwards, I just felt so guilty, because I'm like, I wasn't there being in my present moment. And I knew that my frequency, my energy, and you can just pick it up when you're having a conversation with someone. But as you mentioned, Fernanda, too, when you walk in somewhere, you could feel the joyous person, or you can feel like the density of their energy. So I think it's really important for people to understand, and we like to kind of emphasize that, in our podcast and when we share. And there's so many commonalities with, our guests when they, when they share their expertise. So you use a lot of different modalities in your practice and working with patients, and you also had a little journey of your own when you were in your 20s. Can you share a little bit about that?
Sure. I don't know. We have enough time to go through my whole journey, but yes, I think that, part of like learning and on my spiritual journey and my journey into a physician was kind of the rocky road, so to speak. Right. And I had to have some, I had to hit rock bottom in some places, but even as you can see, I'm a pretty happy person, but for me to hit rock bottom was like, I think I needed to have that to be able to have a shift to where I am today, to be able to recognize and to look back. It's all part of me. It's like, okay, so I was living in New York City and I was just like, I was working like a crazy person. I was using lots of things I shouldn't be using. I was not sleeping. I wasn't eating. I was just, I don't even know who I was. I don't even recognize that person. But it also gave me this perspective of like the other side of myself. Like if I don't take care of myself, I could easily go back into that person, like, because that's part of who I am. And I still, I enjoy all those things that person, that part of me does. Like I still love to go out and see music and stay out late and have fun and travel, like all that. But there also has to be the balance because if not, then I'll burn myself out, which is what I did. And then I moved to, a yoga retreat center in California. And I kind of started my journey there of really diving deep into discovering myself, the true self within me, the one that really needed to come out and not hide anymore. I think a lot of times when we're afraid of how others will see us, if I was the total like nerdy geek in school, like, I was the out kid, I didn't have the pencils in the pocket, but I could have totally gone that road. And so I felt like I never fit in. And so I think because of that, I had to hide my true self. And then for when I hit rock bottom, it was like, okay, well, this isn't who I am anymore. The only way that I can find myself is to dive really deep in. So I lived at a yoga retreat center where I meditated and learned about different foods. I did yoga teacher training. Then I just kind of like the snowball happened. I learned about massage therapy and about herbs and essential oils. And through that, I healed myself, which is a huge part of how I can help others, because you have to have the compassion and the empathy for what others are feeling. And sometimes I think people think that I'm like a rosy, it's all rose colored glasses, right? There's not the damage inside, but I do have a life outside of being this person too. But that's how we can have empathy and help others. And that's a huge part of Dr. Linda, what you were saying earlier about being docere, the doctor as teacher, is being able to empathize and know that journey of health can be so challenging, but so rewarding.
Absolutely.
That is so, and I think it brings such a great point that we have actually talked about here in the past on this podcast, that through adversity, when we are going through those moments in our lives where everything's so chaotic, when we're hitting rock bottom, is when we find ourselves, in a sense. Mm-hmm. And when we're able to learn from those moments, from those critical moments in our lives, and empower us to do better, to create a different person, to understand that we can do better, that we don't have to repeat the same thing over and over again. And a lot of times those challenges are actually what bring our power within. So, and that's exactly what happened to me as well, right? I was completely into traditional medicine, and it wasn't until it happened to me and I hit rock bottom that I started understanding mindset and the power of my vibrational energy and everything for my own health. So it's super powerful. So if anyone's going out there through a critical time, you will learn from it. you will become someone different from it and someone greater from it. So we are, everything that happens in life, it's a lesson, right? And we're learning our lessons here in life. So it's a lesson. Get something out of it. See what you need to learn from it. Ask the right questions. Not why is this happening to me, but what can I learn? What can I improve? How can I improve? How can I become better from these? So on that note, can you tell us, please, 3 different things that you do, maybe whether it's on a day-to-day or when you're feeling your energy kind of lower, to raise your vibrational energy?
Yeah, great. Well, first, I always spend time with plants. Whenever I feel like, I think for me, it's probably the low energy, like just feeling kind of like down, or just really tired. Because I do a lot of computer work with patients, especially now. And so I try to spend as much time, and that doesn't necessarily mean I'm working in my garden all the time, but even just going and sitting, like outside in nature, but when I'm in with the plants. And so that is really key, I think, for your listeners and everybody watching, is like, it doesn't have to be, not everybody has access, right, to a garden, especially now if you're still in quarantine, but even if you have a plant like on your desk, or you can have plants inside your house, create an environment where you have that connection to nature. You're opening the window, whatever it can be, so that you can have that peace and place. And like Dr. Linda was saying earlier, I work at a farm. I'm the botanical director, plant medicine director at the Veterans Healing Farm. And so I have a lot of time to work with plants. And so for me, that is my go-to. Let's see. My second thing is I love to juice. And for me, I like to start off the day, like I'll meditate, I do a little exercise, really get into my body, and then I'll have juice to because I don't like to start out really heavy, because I find it really it just pushes me down too much energetically. And then I'll have something a little bit heavier around lunch, like a salad, something like that. But I love green juice for the vibrancy, and like we're talking about, for that vibrational medicine of the plant, lots of greens, and I'll add ginger and cucumber and celery. I just love having green juice. And the third thing I think is really for me is sleep. Because I think when I go to sleep, I need to be in the space of having everything turned off. Like I listen, I put on music, I put on like an aromatherapy diffuser in the room that's helping me to calm down. I turn off all my electrical devices, and I really kind of like zone in. And then I have a small gratitude journal where I'm just writing a couple of things for the day. And then I'll take some sleep supplements, so that sleep, that's where we are totally doing our healing, is when we're sleeping. And so it has to be, for me, it's like, no matter what, that has to be 100% pure. I have to be sleeping to tonight and feel rested when I wake up in the morning. And I would say at least 95% of my patients have a problem with sleep, and it's a huge epidemic. And you got to have your sleep. It's like so key. That should be it's one of the prime foundations: food, sleep, water, outside.
Absolutely. Can you share a little bit about what you take at nighttime to optimize sleep?
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes I'll take melatonin. It kind of depends on if I really take when I'm traveling. I love to travel and see the world, which I haven't been doing as much, but I'm getting ready to start that hopefully this year. But melatonin is great, and because it helps to bring your body back into balance from that hormone level, right, with the cortisol and the melatonin. As far as herbs go, I make a sleep formula. I call it like knockout drops. So it has kava as one of the main ingredients. And kava is like, when you drink it, like they have kava ceremonies, it's like you can feel this wave of calm throughout your entire body. So I definitely, even if you don't have that formula of mine, but you can making it a kava tea, like kava with some almond milk or coconut milk and some spices to help you sleep, or a golden milk, something to really bring those herbs in. So I like doing that a lot at night. And yeah, I think those are my kind of like go-tos. Sometimes I'll use mushrooms. Mushrooms are helpful too, to help my immune system, because when you're in a place of stress during the day, our immune system can be activated. So if we help bring something in that helps our immune system to be balanced before sleep, we'll have a much more restful evening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Those are very good points. And sleep, we have zoning in sleep, and we've actually had, I think, a few episodes where sleep, no matter what we're talking about, really, sleep always keeps coming up, no matter what. Like almost every week we talk about sleep in a sense, because that speaks volumes about the importance of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not sleeping, if we're not resting, a lot of the body's functions that happen when we're sleeping, they're not happening. So immunity and a lot, just so many different things. And not only that, but it impacts the next day, how we are showing up the next day. Are we rested? Are we ready for the day? Or are we groggy? Are we tired? Are we like not focusing? So super important. To end, Dr. LuLu, where can people find you? How can they work with you? If anyone's interested to find out more about your service, where can they find you?
Sure. I am all over social media. So, of course, you can follow me on Instagram, and that's at Dr. LuLu Shimmick. And then also my website's really easy. So it's doclulu.com, and it's DOC, like, what's up, doc? doclulu.com. And on there, you can find everything. So I have a lot of great information for patients, or if you're not a patient, you can still, there's lots of great information. So I've, like, you can book an appointment with me. You can download my free monthly meal plans, which really help your body to have the good nutrients that it needs to survive and to be healthy and optimal health. I have tons of free webinars as well as free ebooks. So another way to learn about things that are going on in your life that you need help with. You know, this is good. It's just like a taster, right? Like, and can supercharge you into how you really need to focus on your life to have the best outcomes, to have the most vibrant and healthy body that you can.
That's awesome. And one more thing, can you tell our listeners here a little bit about your book? I know it's a pretty extensive book. As I was looking through, I was like, wow, there's a lot of information here, but it looks amazing about detox, nourish, activate, plant, and vibrational medicine for energy, mood, and love. I mean, that applies to everyone. So can you share a quick about that?
Sure. Yeah, I know. I'm super excited for it to come out. We just got the proof last week, and we've just been going through it. It's like almost, I think it's 450 pages, and it has 150 diagrams. So the book is kind of like a workbook, not really that you're like every page is a workbook, but it's a workbook in that you're doing the work as you're working through. And so it's separated into, so DNA, that's the detox, nourish, and activate, the first three letters. So it's all about activating everything about your DNA. And we do that in the book with my co-author, Adora Winquist. We do that through the book using different modalities. So there's plant medicine, there's aromatherapy, there's crystals, there's animals, there's mudras and meditations. And there's also throughout the book, there's a whole, you link to our website where you can listen to the meditations that go with the book through the whole book. So it's a really, it's a journey, a self-healing journey. And the energy, mood, and love part are the three systems. So energy, that's all about the adrenal system. And mood, that's the cardiovascular system. I'm sorry, the brain and nervous system. And love is the cardiovascular system. So those are the three systems that we found to be the most complete that we need help with right now, right? So we have the three aspects in our body, and working through the book is going to elevate those systems to be functioning at like 100%, activating your DNA, healing your DNA, working through different things, through trauma, through lack of abundance in your life, through relationship issues. I mean, it dives deep into things that you really need to work on. And I love it. I can't wait for you to see the whole thing. Me too.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
And Dr. LuLu, you had, and I'm not sure if I missed it when I was putting all of the links for your social media, you have a freebie for our audience.
I do. I have a freebie. It's called 10 Ways to Have More Energy. So it's a really easy guide, 10 simple things you can do to really start bringing energy into your life, which I think everybody needs right now as we're moving into a state of not being in quarantine anymore, to a state where everybody's starting to move out into the world. And I've been hearing it through a lot of circles and my patients is that there's a frenzy right? Because it's like this energy that we've been holding inside us is now starting to like burst out. So we want to have energy, but we want to have it in a balanced way. So this will help with that.
And where can people find this freebie?
I will send you the link. Can I do that?
Of course.
I'll put it on my website. We'll figure out a way to do it really easy so everybody can find it.
Okay. So I'm just writing the comment here. I'm going to put it on the screen. 10 ways to have more energy. It's a freebie for anybody here connecting today. And you can find it on Dr. Lulu's website. And I just put the link for Dr. Lulu's website on the messages, drlulu.com.
I'll put it in the bar at the top, where, you know, when you go on the website, I'll just put the freebie right there so everybody can just find it really easily. They'll be on every page.
Beautiful.
And
awesome.
It's a beautiful, beautiful website. I love just the vibrancy of it. Expresses you very well.
Thank you.
So when I was going through it, I was like, this is so beautiful. You want to just go through everything. So I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy, learn a lot. And as your mission is to educate people, empower people, they're going to get it at the website for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a joy. I love my website. And that is my mission, to help educate people so that they can not only help themselves, but everyone around them in their community.
Mm-hmm. And really how you present yourself impacts not only you, but everybody around you. And that impact expands more and more. So thank you. Thank you so much for everything today. It's been such an amazing time talking to you and getting to know you. And also the freebie, I cannot wait to download it for myself as well.
Wonderful.
To finalize, Dr. Linda, you pick today how we're going to end.
Oh, gosh. There's so much. Whatever Dr. Lulu wants to chat on, either a favorite quote or gratitude, something you're grateful for.
Yeah, you know, I think because Mother's Day is coming up this weekend, I'm going to say how grateful I am for my mother. She has been my inspiration for every moment of my life, and she still is to this day.
I love it. Fernanda?
I am grateful for my kids. I am grateful for my mother. I am actually very grateful today for this podcast. It really teaches me so much every single week. Dr. Linda, you, all of our amazing guests, I love coming here, and I not only present this information with Dr. Linda out to other people that are wanting to improve themselves, but also it really improves my life. So thank you both for being with me today.
Yeah, thank you. And I wanted to share, I'm a podcast junkie, and I was listening to a few this morning when I was out for my walk and my God time. But this kind of stood out to me, and it's live, train, and prepare daily to be the professional you. So basically, it's just like, it doesn't matter who you are in life, whether you're a business owner, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter what you are. Be the professional you and show up every day. And it's just not just showing up, but going all out and chasing it 100%. So that just stood with me as I was listening to a podcast. I was like, gosh, that's so good. So live, train, and prepare daily to be the professional you, or the best version of you. So that's kind of sticking with me right now. But thank you, ladies. I just so enjoy being in your presence, and all this is awesome. And as you mentioned, happy Mama's Day to all the mamas here. And there's even men there that have been the mama and the papa for a lot of our children. So a happy Mother's Day to you as well. So until next time, we'll see everyone next week.
Thank you.
All right. See ya. Bye.